made from a bone or a horn, but I would like my own personal flagon made out of dragon bone or dragon horn. Yes. Someone can do that, right?
Well, that depends, actually. What sort of artisan's tools proficiency might we expect to be proficient in to work with a dragon?
That depends on exactly what you're trying to do. Different parts of a dragon might require different tools. Working with the hide and scales is likely to require leatherworking tools. The bones would likely be either carpentry or smithing, depending on how they're being handled and manipulated. Teeth are likely to be more wood carving, same with the horns. Closest
Mm,
approximation the game has, because it doesn't have ivory working otherwise.
yeah,
Handling the blood is likely to require alchemy.
I yeah, I don't think we have anything in the party that knows wood carving specifically, but I'm sure we could pay someone to do it.
I don't know how complicated it is. We need to hollow out a, like a space that can fit a drink and then smooth it down and then strap something to it that will work as a handle. Like, we just get some leather straps or something and, you know.
It's not terribly difficult to do it well, to do it without risking damage to like actually destroying the materials. You would want someone proficient in like wood carving tools. You could make the attempt
Well,
without them. I mean,
I suppose we have enough gold here. Maybe we can gather up some of this gold and get some like gold inlays in it, and then it'll be a good excuse to pay somebody.
but yeah, no, you guys
Yeah,
are
as
just
far as I
sitting in this
know, this
dragon
is
lair.
like stupid rich.
Yeah, yeah, you guys have a metric assload of wealth here. I'm curious how you plan to get
Well,
it out of here.
Why would we ever leave?
There is a certain distinct lack of food.
No, there's like 10 of us. What are you talking about?
we do have a druid in the party, but nah,
And a
that's not to set
dragon.
our laurels.
No, I jest.
So I got a bag of holding that can hold about 400 more pounds of equipment. I do fully intend to get as much dragon blood as possible, along with scales and hide. Yeah, I can
Um,
work with scales and hide, but bones, that'll depend on what you want to do with them.
While Mina can carry 300 pounds, she's currently carrying a 200-pound iron loom for reasons that are totally legitimate.
What?
But she can drop
Collapsible.
that. It does not seem super collapsible.
So, just in raw coinage, there's about 4,120 pounds of coins.
Dear God.
I'll start with the
We did
platinum and
not
we'll be
plan
in good
this
shape.
out. We didn't plan this out well at all.
How much can
What are
everybody
you talking about?
carry?
The dragon's totally
Like I said, I
oofed.
can
We
drop
can't
the
carry
iron
it.
loom and then I'll only be carrying about 60 pounds. And then I can carry about 240 pounds of platinum pieces.
How much can everybody carry?
Being I'm a gnome,
Yeah.
not a whole lot.
I'm totally fine with just staying here. Like, why would we?
I have 20 strength. What does that mean?
It means your
A lot.
carrying capacity is probably like 300, like mine.
We had a wagon or something.
Yeah, why don't we just send somebody to go buy a vehicle with some of this money and then haul it up here? How close can we possibly get? Do we need to get some?
I
Why don't
have
we get?
I have another idea. Is 200 pounds enough iron to rebuild the APC, or at least the wheels in the bottom of it? Enough to carry.
You can recycle my iron loom.
I mean, it takes 10 minutes to turn it back into a loom.
Yeah. So is this the only iron? Is the 200 pounds from the iron loom, or do you have more?
That's all the iron I was hauling around.
I have 15 iron spikes. But that being said, if I may, how exactly does teleportation circle work? Because we could just take this to the other treasure hoard that we have.
Teleportation circle is a spell that I'm not exactly capable of casting at the moment due to a lack of material components.
Oh, I was about to ask. Forgot.
I can just teleport us, but we would have to be carrying stuff. That being said, I can also, if we wait until tomorrow, assist the carrying capacity of several members of the party.
You cut out for most of that.
That being said, I can also assist the carrying capacity of several members of the party and teleport us if we wait until tomorrow.
You must be talking about enhanceability, right? Teleportation don't really factor in the magical enhancements, or does it? I'm not familiar with the spell myself, that's why I ask.
Teleportation does not, to my understanding of the spell, but I haven't really experimented with it enough to know for sure, does not require us to be even moderately mobile. It does require us to have things on our person, but we can carry so much that we can literally take steps, and that is a obscene amount of effort. But I also don't want people breaking their backs, because if I teleport, I can't really regenerate broken bones.
I can. I mean, I hate to use it on this. How long? What's our max efficiency on teleport? Like, if I had an hour, how many times could you teleport me? Is it one?
I can do it once a day, and I've already done it today.
So
get us into the Dragon Horde.
Yeah, it's not super efficient. Then I was gonna say I have this potion. I could up my strength to 29, and I'd be able to carry like 400 and change pounds. But that doesn't get us where we need to be.
I would say
unless we have multiple teleports. No. It's off the table.
Lieutenant might be able to teleport, but he is
off.
as of yet to be returning.
Yeah.
You guys, like, he isn't even in the room with you guys because he wasn't even part of
He's
that
not
battle.
in the snow cap. Yeah.
Yeah, he fucked off. He was like, no.
I am going to have to talk to him.
He was a coward.
I am going to talk to him about that. If he's not going to participate in the fights, he's not going to be getting the same rewards as everybody else.
I think he handed a stone to someone. That was.
Yeah, he helped. Having resistance to fire damage is useful. It's very useful.
So that's.
If I recall, he said he didn't want to fight in the fight because all of his damage-dealing spells were fire-based.
Or fire-based, yes. Correct. I really think it was an unnecessary risk. It was nice for him to be out there just in case none of us emerged from the cave. He'd been able to maybe just take down the mountain over the course of several weeks.
I don't have damaging spells beyond some very simple stuff that does negligible damage.
Me neither.
Well, you're not primarily a spellcaster, are you?
I have 2 spells.
Yeah.
Hack and Slash.
I have
Is obscene amounts of violence not a spell?
No, that's a class feature.
That's got a magic all its own.
Regardless, whatever we're doing, if we require my teleportation, is going to have to wait until tomorrow. And if we have to make multiple trips, we can make one trip a day.
The best I could do with that is secure the entrances and exits with alarm. Oh, while we do this thing, this sounds like something that is inevitably going to take several days.
So to answer your question, Sleuth, how much iron do you have?
I have none. All of mine went into the 200-pound iron loom.
Yeah. So I have a 200-pound iron loom.
Okay, so 200 pounds. That's
We can
not
make a
lot.
sled. We can make 200 pounds worth of sled and sled down the mountain.
When you haul it up a mountain, it feels like a lot.
It is. It feels like a lot for a person to carry, but in terms of like actual surface area, like if you were to flatten all that out into plates to make like a wagon and the wagon wheels and shit out of it's actually not all that much.
We really don't need the whole vehicle. We need a solid frame, don't we?
I mean, you'd basically get.
Is there anything else we can add?
2 axles, 4 wheels,
have an
and a
idea.
plate across the bottom of them, and that's about it.
Can you take the dragon bones and turn them into, like, if you can make just the base frame with the iron, can you use the dragon bones to make the actual bed?
Or the dragon scale?
That does remind me.
And then that'll double up because it'll be part of the weight and also part of the structure.
That does remind me. Who needed armor, and who needed weapons out of dragon?
Let's make us a wagon out of
get some armor.
stuff, though. To get
I
our
think we should use as much of the dragon as possible in the wagon construction if we are going to do that, because that will double up and give us, it's taking weight we have to carry away because we've done something with.
I mean, there's a lot of dragon.
Good.
Yeah.
Does that seem? I mean, I'm not the expert, but does that seem reasonable that we would be able to take the iron there, make some wheels and some make enough to get like the base frame, and then finish up the actually make the bed of this cart? Obviously, we don't want to build like a whole one, but we could build the bed out of dragon bones, I presume. I mean, if Sleuth can work with the dragon bones anyway.
Yeah, the best I have is tinkers and smiths. It's about my extent of being able to help. I also have fabricate.
I have tool proficiency in vehicles of the land variety.
Same.
That basically means you know how to drive. You can ride a horse.
Same. I can also drive. I have proficiency in weaver's tools. I have proficiency at dice with a flute and with a shawm.
Ooh, fancy.
I also
Shawm.
only know one language, and it's common.
I can speak Common, Abyssal, Draconic, and Terran, which are all pretty spooky languages, especially that Common.
Yeah.
Say your languages again for Nala.
Common, Abyssal, Draconic, and Terran.
Okay. Oops.
If it's something you forgot to mention, that's probably because Nala never really put any effort into looking around for something to read.
No, it's that that whole big scary looking book. Identify told you what it was, but really it's written in Infernal, so you'd actually have no idea of what the details of what it contains.
Huh.
Eh.
It's a spooky, evil book.
I thought you knew
Nala's
Infernal.
No, Abyssal, which is a bastardization of Primordial, which I also speak.
Doc only knows Dwarvish, Gnomish, and Common. The language of the little people.
Draconic and halfling.
I mean, regardless, Nala would treat pretty much any big, spooky, evil book just about the same way.
It's evil. Kill it.
That hasn't been the party's MO. The party's MO has been it's some evil book, we should read it and turn it on. That's what your guys' MO has basically been up until now.
What kind of book is it?
Are we sure? I don't remember the last time we intentionally.
Let me see the book.
The only way we know if it's evil is if we try it out. Like that's the only way we know for
let me
sure.
see the book.
Look how
Doc will play
nice
with
it
it.
looks. It has to be evil. There's no way this is a book of shit.
Wow.
I have enough
way to
holy
judge a
energy
book
in
by
me
its
that I
cover.
can touch the book.
Yeah.
I was actually judging a book by the identification.
Oh, okay then.
Way
It
to judge the
seems-
book by a cover. It's bound in children's skin and says "Hail Satan" on the cover. Of course, we're judging it too harshly.
Are you sure? Are you sure that's children's skin? I thought it was a skin
It
of
could be
puppies.
halfling.
I thought it was a skin of
Did
puppies.
this
honestly.
dragon horde contain any booze at all?
Now that you mention it, you do find like a flagon of whiskey.
Sweet.
Is it enchanted by chance? A
Nope,
flagon of
it
endless
just
whiskey.
it smells like strong hooch.
Mina is already drinking it.
It says Firebrand. That's about it. Or Fireball. Fireball whiskey. There you go.
Did someone say fireball?
Mina
Not
is
that
going to
fireball.
lay in a pile of gold and drink her newfound hooch. Alright, that's what she's doing.
Mina, remind me to study enchantments and see if I can't get an endless flask of whiskey for you.
She will give you a thumbs up while still just staring at the ceiling and drinking booze.
I appreciate you, Mina. Iron and Dragon Cart. Feasible, yes, no?
What are you familiar with carpentry or smithing tools?
I'm familiar with smithing tools and tinker's tools and jewelry.
Okay. Really, you just needed carpenters or smithing. I could see either of those for the bone work. Just you need some type of specialized tool for making the axles and able to rotate on the wagon without fucking it up.
Hurrah.
So yeah. You take 200 pounds of the iron, and you can use fabricate to basically grab all of the dragon bone and form it into this like bone and iron box on wheels. It looks a lot like your old APC did, except there's like exposed like bone at the corners with iron plate in the middle. The floor it looks like it's like polished ivory inside. Really, it's polished bone.
So
I
it looks
mean,
like the old
this your-
APC, but more badass.
This isn't your first time doing that, huh?
Basically, the skull has been like formed on like melted halfway into the front of the APC, so it looks like, it's a dragon head on wheels.
Nice.
well, it's my first time
Wow.
building one, but it's not the first time I've had one. Gilbert and I actually had one before we got it stolen by another agent. Ancient dragons are assholes.
There's this wet squelching sound as like the hide and scales just sort of deflate on top of themselves without the bones to hold them up.
Oh, that sounded
He
icky.
wasn't using those anyway.
That sounded icky. Anyways, Yeah, the last one had a ballista in the back, and that was really nice.
We didn't really use it for much.
We did when we first got it, and then we realized that our magic is a little bit stronger.
This one doesn't have a ballista.
I could
Ballista sold separately.
I don't have my Griffin. Is my Griffin within the 1 mile range to contact it?
Yes.
I would like to tell it to enter the cave and find me and see if this APC can be carried or dragged along by it.
Okay. I'm going to need your Griffin to make a stealth check then.
Oh boy. What is it?
You thought this was the only ancient red dragon, huh?
Because, there's some shit going down.
Remember when we got in here without killing any of the people in here because we teleported directly into the boss chamber of the dungeon?
I do.
Remember that?
Hmm.
Yeah, that was good times.
Now the things that worship the dragon are coming? Okay. Well,
No, I think they're fucking off, and the Griffin's like same direction as them fucking up.
Okay. So how in communication with you are you with your Griffin?
oh no.
I mean, I have telepathy with it. I would assume it can tell me if there's a problem.
Okay. Yeah. So it comes through the cave and it's like, well, kind of a shitty, sulfury cave. And then you just hear it say, oh shit, oh fuck. And it basically says, and the next thing you get is, I'm coming in hot.
Shit. Enemies in the entrance. Do we fight them? Do we leave?
I think we just stand here and display our really cool dragon cart to them, and they'll probably be intimidated and they'll fuck off.
I'm not
and if
Let's
they
see. Do I
don't
have minor illusion? Do I have minor?
I mean,
I do not.
well, it's probably too late now. Mina draws her weapon. She's ready to go.
What is your Griffin's movement speed? This matters.
Fly speed of 80 feet.
Okay, so it can way outpace these guys.
I would like to move the...
Ask him what they are.
Yeah, what are they? And I'm going to start pointing the dragon skull on the cart towards the entrance.
I'll help. Push the cart over.
Big ass swarm of blue flaming skulls.
Hmm.
Blue
Oh,
flaming
fuck.
skulls.
I don't think we can intimidate blue flaming skulls. New plan. Kill them with fire.
So it's
Or
flying,
wood,
right?
whatever.
But they're already on fire.
Skulls. They're already on fire.
Well, they're about to be more on fire. I don't know what to tell you. My sword's on fire.
I'm gonna go and take a defensive position, taking cover from the carcass that's left of the carcass. Have my heavy crossbow pointed at the entrance.
I'm going to start casting Tiny Hut.
Did that time I spent drinking in the pile of loot count as a short rest? It's hard to tell how much time has elapsed while the cart was being built and while we've been dicking
The
around.
cart was
after killing
basically
the
built by in 10 minutes. Just takes that long to cast fabricate. And then the materials sort of slurp out of wherever they were. Which was
So
really
has
disturbing to
all the
watch
rest-
the bones like slurp out of the orifices of this dragon. So it's been like probably 30 minutes of you guys identifying, talking,
Okay.
sitting around. But yeah, you've been drinking a lot. Can I get a con save from you?
Absolutely, you can. Yes, you may. One moment.
Absolute champion. I would like to request that as many people group up on me as possible, just so we have something that can be used for cover.
Sure. That sounds like a great idea, actually.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna do that.
Mm-hmm. Same.
The Griffin is going to be coming with blue flaming skulls hot on its heels, metaphorically
Mina's gonna
speaking.
position herself to the side of the entrance so that if something comes through, she can thwack it. And
With the hooch?
I mean, she's
Fuck
gonna
yeah.
pocket the hooch, and she's
Okay.
gonna
I
At
really
least a
just
perfectly
like
good hooch.
sticks it. She sticks it in her belt, like
Yeah.
out plainly visible.
I need you guys here for like a minute. If the Griffin comes, then scatter, because we're gonna have problems. I'm just setting up Tiny Hut, and I will be burning spell points to do it in 1 minute instead of 11.
Okay. 1 minute passes. The hut comes up. The Griffin is basically saying it thinks it lost them, but so far it's just been one curved tunnel. It keeps turning right and heading down.
That doesn't sound right. Maybe it is
Mhm.
right. It
It
doesn't
is right.
sound
It's
right.
banking off to the right.
My concern is, wouldn't the dragon want up, not low down?
I mean,
We
what
can't
if it
see our
goes down
altitude.
and then goes up?
Oh, you mean like Doc did twice in that last fight?
Yep,
Sure.
and that's
We
when you
are
guys see the Griffin kind of haul ass around the corner to the south of your entry.
So we came from the south, not from the direction we're facing, or
we teleported in.
The south is the way the hallway is. Yeah. We teleported in, remember?
We rolling a niche?
not
For
yet.
what?
Okay.
Okay. If there's any more fabrication that needs to be done, I'm going to need you to bring the supplies into the hut. But be ready to be attacked, and hopefully we don't have to deal with that. Um, Griffin, I still need to. Do you have a name?
It looks at you like it has no idea what you're talking about.
Right. You said you think you lost them, but there's only one path. Do you think they're stupid enough to get lost in a straightforward path?
I don't know.
Do I know what these blue flaming skulls are, and if they're stupid enough to get lost in a single path?
You didn't see them. The only description that the Griffin would have given you is a swarm of blue flaming skulls.
How
That just sounds
large?
lovely.
How large were they? About the size of my head?
Yes.
How many of them were they?
15? 20?
They're easy, simple monsters. We can take them. Let's do it.
Okay, well, we've got the tiny hut for 8 hours. I can keep recasting it as necessary. And it will stop magic from entering, but it also stops magic from exiting.
Nanny.
Why do we need to fight them right now? Why not just wait till we're rested?
Because they're probably heading our way.
They saw the
We let
Griffin
them come
coming
to
in.
us.
That's why I set up the tiny hut. In case they do come to us, we have some form of cover. But it can't move.
Okay. So another minute passes. Then another. Soon 10, 30. An hour has passed. You all get a short rest. No sign of any flaming skulls.
Hmm.
I think we're
I have
safe to
nothing
go
that
about our
refreshes
business.
in a short rest.
All right, whatever.
So do we want to go search for him? Or do we just want to wait it out?
I
Let's
don't really
finish the
want.
wagon and load up and get the hell up out of here.
I mean, the only
I-
way out's through them.
I probably should. Okay. We can teleport out if we wait, but that also means the lieutenant might be walking into them.
He's not stupid enough to come in here.
He might have been coming because I told him I have stuff for him.
I'm sure he'll approach it in an intelligent and risk-free manner.
I really hope that doesn't involve collapsing the cave.
He would
Uh,
probably wait at least a day or two to do that.
I told him that we're alive and the dragon's dead, but if there's still enemies in here, I don't really know what he would do. Now that I think about it, I haven't really seen him fighting very often. Especially against fiery stuff.
I'm interested in making a breastplate with the dragon skills.
Okay.
Is it as straightforward as that, or do I need it other than skills?
Well, you can't make a breastplate out of them. You can make a set of scale mail. Scales are not like strong and stiff enough to make a solid breastplate out of. You would need bones for that, and all the bones went into the cart.
For now.
All the bones?
All the bones?
All of the bones.
This thing was gargantuan.
Yes, it was.
Get a great, powerful wagon.
You only had 200 pounds of iron. Your cart is mostly bone.
That's
Alright.
creepy looking.
We can find a replacement for most of the bone once we get back to port. Or at least some of it. Gilbert, how much did the original cart cost? In materials.
Somewhere I
Right.
think in total at the end it was maybe around 5,000.
That's it?
I was not the one in charge of bookkeeping. That would be Bill Mop, the book.
He's not a book anymore.
He's made of paper.
That does make him the most qualified for bookkeeping.
That seems kind of like a dick move.
Mina doesn't say anything. She just takes a big swig from her bottle.
Oh well. We'll figure something out. We'll. Shit.
All right then.
Can you? Fuck it. I'll drop the tiny hut and start fabricating a dress for myself out of the dragon's scales. Yeah, dragon scale dress.
Okay, sure. I mean, it's a dress. It doesn't take particularly much to do.
Wonderful. Um, does anybody else need anything?
Could I make a shield with the scales?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would actually like to fabricate a shield.
Okay. Fabricate a dragon scale shield.
Huzzah. I am out of spell points.
Same.
And I still got some to go around.
Oh. I could use a dragon scale cloak.
Yes, dragon scale cloaks for everyone.
Yeah.
I'd really rather mine be just like a dragon leather cloak with dragon scale for trim, if you don't mind.
I'm sure I can manage. How many people does that entail? 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. When we get back to port, remind me to look for a substitute for at least some of this bone. I will spend the next hour and a half to 2 hours making cloaks for everybody, or until I run out of spell points.
Okay. Well, actually, you really only need to cloaks you can kind of stack on top of each other, so you can actually do most of the cloaks in like one fabricate spell.
Ooh, wonderful. I will make a cloak for everybody and Odwick.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so these are dragon scale cloaks, and while you have them on, you have advantages to saving throws versus frightful presence and breath weapons of dragons, and resistance to fire damage.
Nice.
Hot damn. Feels great.
Excellent.
I should make a surplus of these, actually. How much of a like personal escort does Odwick have? Like actual trained soldiers instead of just peasants that were given a spear or a short bow?
A dozen?
They
Like
hope.
actual trained soldiers, besides militiamen. Um, if you recall, only like 6 of them probably survived.
I'll make them cloaks as well.
Okay. It's another casting fabricate, just so you know.
That is acceptable. That was just over half of my spell points. Total today, including the fight, not just off of fabricate. What else do we need? Ooh, I'm going to start filling my water skins and whatever else is available that the party's willing to donate with dragon blood.
That's fine. I got hooch.
Okay.
And the barrel I've been carrying around since Pandemonium.
So, a gargantuan dragon has a lot of blood. How much containers do you guys have?
Not enough.
I have a
But I'm
whole
willing
ass
to
barrel.
4 jugs.
Okay, because so it depends a lot on how you extract it. Using fabricate's pretty efficient. Manual methods are much less so.
If it helps, for containers, I have. I guess it'd just be 6 vials. The stuff left over from health potions of holy water.
That's cute.
I know it's not a lot. I'm saying I have some.
I tell you what, if we want to really min-max this, since we're going to the effort of putting blood in vials, why don't we all just teleport back to town with a mouthful of dragon blood?
Actually, Nala is kind of curious about how it tastes. Yeah, Nala's gonna fabricate the barrel full of blood, and
How
try a
big
little
is a
bit of it.
barrel? Well, first off, how big is a barrel? Because like using fabricate, the dragon would give you basically access to 13.5 gallons of dragon blood.
I don't actually know. I want to say it's like 20 gallons, but I will double check.
What does one of those big drums usually contain? I don't know what a regular barrel usually has. Like, is this like a tiny barrel? Is it a
I-
full-sized barrel?
It was a barrel filled with old ale or mead, some kind of beer equivalent. That we found.
That's
So
several
a
sizes.
70-pound barrel, which is like your standard, like you can hide inside of water barrel, can contain about 40 gallons.
Nice.
So yeah, you can just fabricate all the blood into this. There's some now this like really like almost sulfurous smell coming from this barrel. You want to drink some?
Just a sip.
Okay. It burns your mouth like it's on fire. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
He took a sip of the good stuff.
Ooh.
Now that's fireball whiskey.
That one. It burns your
Nice.
stomach lining away, and you get a super ulcer.
Hey, can you get a vial full of that, please?
So it burns in your mouth. It burns all the way down, and I guess your stomach it just settles there, and it's just like burning, like just churning heat sensation in your stomach, and it's not going away.
That was a bad idea. That was a bad idea.
Can someone else get a
Are
vial
you
full of
okay?
That burns.
He's like sweat. You can see her sweating, and she feels like she has a fever.
I should have seen this coming. This was a terrible mistake.
Ooh,
Gilbert, why would you let me do this?
Oh,
Gilbert, you're supposed to be my rational thought.
Hold on, I need to look something up.
Nala's
wait,
going
there's
to.
more.
your stomach lining begins to dissolve as you get an ulcer.
Don't worry, I can regenerate that. Like a lizard.
Also, your likelihood of stomach and prostate cancer has increased by at least 4,000%.
I can just cut those out and regenerate it.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
Nala, you burst into flames.
Oh, that's bad.
They don't hurt.
That's less bad.
All of your clothing, except for the red dragon scale dress that you made, has basically been disintegrated.
So Nala didn't
that's
actually
odd.
change
Holy
into
shit,
that,
what
and
the
she
fuck?
Nala never
She's
really
naked.
put that on, and she was wearing leather armor. So yeah, she's
Yeah.
gonna start
Wow,
putting the dress
yeah.
on.
this is like a
But I don't need
show.
magic. I tried to spell magic, but I'm out of spell points.
Mina's just gonna sort of
So
stand
this
in between
this lasts for about
and be a
like
curtain.
30 seconds or so before it goes out. During those 30 seconds, you felt like you were basically immune to high temperature.
High temperature or fire damage?
Well,
Would I be able to
You
tell?
think that you can't really tell the difference because if you're immune to fire damage, you could also walk through a desert pretty much without caring. But you think that fire would have had like no effect on you for that period of time.
Okay. And that was just from a sip.
Yeah.
If we could distill
Transfusions
that.
for everybody.
Mina would like a vial. You know what? She's just gonna dig into her mess kit, and she's gonna get like a little I don't know, a spoon or whatever the hell she has, and she's gonna add like a couple of drops to her whiskey.
Be very, very careful. This is very dangerous and very uncomfortable. That might have actually killed me now that I think about it.
She adds
Oh,
this
shit.
this fire blood to her flammable alcoholic beverage. What happened?
Your alcohol
Does it
is
set
now
the
on
alcohol?
fire.
Oh,
It's like one of those flaming shots in your hand.
Yeah. Mina's gonna cover the top of the bottle
Okay.
so that the oxygen stops hitting.
Okay.
That's a burst.
You take 3 fire damage as you're holding your hand and the flames keep licking at it.
All right. Well, only one way to deal with this.
Dragon
Down
blood's an
the hatch.
oxidizer. Okay.
Oh. That gives me an idea.
All right. So you swig back this. Burning sensation in your mouth, all the way down your throat into your stomach. Goes away after a few seconds, and you just belch this big cloud of white smoke.
nice.
Under.
Mhm.
I would like to take like a torch with the rag, one that doesn't have oil in it,
Uh-huh.
and dip it in the blood.
Okay.
I would like to point away from the party and use my fire breath on the torch head.
Okay. You breathe. For like half a second, there's a section of the flame breath that's brighter and then like the rest of it. Then your flame breath cuts out and you realize you're holding half a torch in your hand. The top half is gone.
Gilbert should just drink all of it. He'll be fine.
I'm going to put the barrel.
Transfusion that shit.
I'm going to put the cap back on until we can find a way to mass produce this without slaughtering ancient dragons daily.
You had me in the first half. The second half, you lost me.
I'm not saying we can't do that, but I want to find a way that we can do it just in downtime. I mean, for
I
me,
think
that is downtime.
I think it's pretty clear. We
I'm
can't
sure we
Can
can
you
synthesize
fabricate
this.
a hose
at least
so
do
we
bi
can
week.
do? Can you fabricate a hose so we can get Gilbert to do a keg stand?
I can actually, I think.
A better question is, do you think Gilbert can actually pull that off? Doesn't even drink normal booze. Do you think he knows how to?
He's gonna
watched Nala
learn.
do it. He watched Nala do it in Pandemonium. Besides, even if Gilbert doesn't drink, he travels with a bard. Of course he knows how to do a keg stand.
Fair enough.
So, are we going to wait until tomorrow?
And that's probably what we're going to do.
Yeah.
All right. Is the
Hey, how big is that entryway? If I ritual cast a tiny hut in the entryway, would it block the entryway?
a gargantuan dragon got in here?
Okay, so if we both ritual cast a tiny hut, would it block the entryway?
How tall is your hut? Because it's
10 feet.
Okay, so you can probably block the entirety of it's a 20-foot wide, 20-foot tall tunnel. So you could probably block the bottom half of it.
Yeah, I think they're flying flaming skulls, right?
Presumably, skulls would imply a lack of a torso, which would imply a lack of legs. So
Seems
to
like a
get
waste of time.
yeah, so to get around, they would probably need to fly. Um, I'll start loading up the APC with all this money.
Okay. Again, there's like 4,120 pounds of coinage here. Even this super cart isn't going to be able to handle all of it.
We'll start with the most expensive and work our way down from there. I'll be sending the robot to help.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That will help.
Callie. That's its name.
How expensive would it, or how much weight would it be to make dragon bone armor for the Griffin, and would it be able to fly with that?
It would probably need to be something on the lighter end of this scale. So we're talking not so much scale or bone armor as like leather armor made from dragon hide. As for the weight it would add, I'd have to look it up. I think it's like, what, 15 times normal weight for barding?
I thought it was weight and price are doubled and quadrupled, but I don't
Weight is
remember which is
twice
which.
as much. Cost is 4. So
After we rest, we have to test something. It's very important.
Ooh.
you would need like 20 pounds of dragon flesh to do it. You have a boneless, like a deboned, gargantuan-sized dragon over there. It's pretty easy to get.
Griffin, how do you feel about wearing dragon scale armor? Well, hide, leather.
It doesn't care.
All right, I will start fabricating the leather armor onto the dragon, or off of the dragon onto the Griffin.
Okay.
Spell points. So does that just act like regular leather with the extra effects from being dragon?
Yes. It is similar to Micmic's thing. It's essentially it's +1 to its base AC, advantage on saving throws, resistance to fire damage.
Okay. Hmm. What about like saddlebags?
Yeah. Nice thin wing-like material you can use for that.
I will also make saddlebags. That's probably going to need another fabricate.
Yep.
So once we've rested, we really need to test how well these cloaks fare against friendly breath weapons.
I can do it, but I would prefer to have a healer on hand. And I don't know if the other healers are capable of healing right now.
I'm not afraid of no dragon breath. That's fine. You can do the healing.
I can indeed do healing. Please don't stand right next to me while we're testing this. I cherish you and I appreciate you, but I also like not being a pile of ashes.
I also enjoy not being a pile of ashes. It's pretty nice.
It is. Does the lieutenant's thing, should I hold on to that while we're testing this, or is that not going to interfere?
Oh, it won't.
All right. Ooh, anything that isn't made of dragon but is made of soft, flammable stuff that you're carrying.
You want to hold my hat?
Do you want me to make a dragon leather hat for you?
I mean, I
That would
like
be
my
cool.
hat.
All right, I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
Goofing around.
Yeah,
Those
we're out of
skulls show
stuff.
up.
Just waiting.
Is what? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
We've mostly been goofing around. Do the skulls show up while we're starting our rest?
Nope.
All right, I think we're just.
So you guys are just taking a long rest? Is that what I hear?
Sounds like a plan to me, I guess.
I don't know. I'm asking. Fine with me.
I don't need these wing boots anymore, right? I don't think I'm gonna need them anymore.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Nani?
Oh, those are yours though.
Yeah.
And if you can, it's probably not the most efficient thing to give them away. Okay. I mean, I think we're done with them for the moment.
Yeah.
Unless we go dragon hunting again, which is always fun.
I probably don't need this half plate of fire resistance either. I don't need to be fire retardant anymore.
You have that though
The
from
cloak.
other sources. You have multiple, right? You have
Yeah, they don't
two
stack.
sources. I'm saying though that you already have two things that don't stack. So having three things that don't stack is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would like to. Do I know what organs are normally important for like alchemy and magic? Like dragon stomach, liver, heart, brain.
Um,
Heart and brain probably would be
All of the
the
above.
safe bets. Maybe eye and
so
tongue.
Digging around in his giblets now.
so yeah, eyes, the brain, the heart, the liver, the gallbladder,
Tongue?
the gonads. Generally, those are all considered alchemically powerful. Unfortunately, because you just kind of sucked all the bone out, you've kind of squashed the brain. It's kind of soft and it's basically useless at this point.
It was useless before.
Yeah, picked a fight with us. Couldn't have had that much brain power.
But the other organs
he
are
existed.
salvageable.
He existed within miles of us. That's what his first problem was.
So I have 3 more casting of fabricate today.
Okay. Let's see. What could you fabricate? I don't really like. Mina's style is not high on leather. So let's see. She wouldn't hate some high boots. Some nice dragon leather boots. Maybe some gloves and a satchel. Can you do boots, gloves, and a satchel?
Can I get all of those in one casting?
Oh, and a
Sure.
grip. a grip to wrap around the hilt of my sword.
Can I add that to the single casting?
Mm-hmm.
I will do that.
Okay.
Any other requests?
How strong
Could
is your
I
Griffin?
actually get some of that dragon's blood in a single flask?
I've got a keg half full of it, a third full.
Oh, I just need like about half a flask for now.
Yeah,
I don't
that'll
know
be
why we
fine.
didn't think to do this. You could have made dragon leather water skins. Oh, we could use a collar for the dog. Yeah, we use a dog collar, and what else? I'm just like looking for the most useless nonsense we could possibly have.
But seriously, how strong is your Griffin, Nala?
Oh, size large creature, strength 18. So I will do the math. As soon as I can find my phone. Because I'm not actually doing math. Fuck that.
So basically, that means now you're
I
so it has a
carry
2,700
slightly heavier.
pound pulling capacity for a vehicle.
Yes.
So your vehicle weighs 1,000 pounds currently. So that means you can have 1,700 pounds inside the carriage, and and your Griffin can still pull it.
All right, let's load it up.
If it were anything else, Mina would say it's beneath her. Mina will help pull this thing. We're getting it where we're going. So
Hell
It's just a
no,
matter
we're
of
gonna finish.
how much of the treasure can you shove into it before you can't move it anymore, is what I'm trying to get at here while you guys are taking your long rest. So it'd be what? So what's your strength? 20?
20.
Okay, so that'll add 1,500 pounds if you're pulling it with the Griffin.
Would it help if I also had the robot helping with that?
No, it's not really. How would it help pull? Because like Mina's kind of pushing it from behind, the Griffin's pulling it from the front.
Nala will help me to push it from behind.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Like, isn't there more than enough room to do that?
You can maybe fit 2 people there, many more than that, and you're running out of space.
We can open the doors and push on the hinge.
There are no doors.
There are no doors.
It's like a wireframe carriage. You didn't have the
Are there
capability to
horns
make
on the
things.
side of the head of the dragon that he can grab on and push from the side?
Sure, 1 person each on each side can also push.
There you go.
When it gets down to pushing this with
So that's the raw capacity. Again, the vehicle weighs 1,000 pounds itself, so you have 3,200 pounds of cargo capacity with Mina and the Griffin. I need the strength values for other things in order to be able to tell you how much that increases it.
Yeah. The robot that is Callie, I named it Callie, has a strength of 14 and is medium size.
strength 16, size medium for Nala.
Let me use.
We should probably have David instead of Callie helping push.
Yeah.
True.
Wait, what?
Will you help us push the wagon full of loot?
Sure. What do I roll?
Nothing.
just-
What's your strength score?
Oh, 20.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay. So this means that accounting for the cart, its weight itself. The Griffin, Mina, David, and Nala all pushing the cart. You can put 5,900 pounds inside and still move it.
Jesus, how much is in this room?
I can give 4
Less than that.
people and hence.
Yeah, let's just.
Let's load everything up in the wagon and get the hell out of Dodge.
Wait. The thing can support that much weight, we're pretty sure.
It's made of iron and dragon bone.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
I
pretty
hope.
sure.
Okay, let's get it on there then.
Yeah, let's
Did we
do
finish
this.
our rest?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
So, no, you haven't finished your long rest. So, you guys are taking a long rest here? Inside the bubble, I'm guessing?
I have
Inside the
a bubble, so we can set up 2 bubbles.
Yeah. Long rest one.
I would put them as close as possible
back.
without touching each other.
Like a pair of boobs.
We get our hit dice back as well after
We're not
a
done.
long rest. Just wondering.
You would get half of your level back in hit dice. So, if you're level 14, you would get 7 hit dice back.
Alright.
So, yeah, what's your watch order?
I'll go
Mina's gonna
first.
drink. She's gonna drink and she's gonna go to sleep.
Okay.
Now let's take a watch with Mina.
I'll take a watch with somebody. Doesn't matter. I'm pretty exhausted though, so I'll probably just sleep.
Just post your watch order in chat.
I'll take first watch. Gilbert would take second, and
We should set up one bubble before the other so that most of the party can go between bubbles as necessary.
Presumably we set up yours first.
That works. It would only have to be like a 30-second difference. Who's taking first watch?
I will.
Okay, that's 2 watches.
I'll take third.
Mick, what's your character name?
Dean.
Okay, so Dean's on 4th watch.
That works for me too, sure.
Doc, I can't hear you if you're talking.
No, I'm not talking.
All right, well, you were keyed up, so I thought you were.
All right, yeah, I'm on. I took a watch.
All right, yep, no problem. Okay, so you guys go down for a long rest. Doc, in your third watch.
Shit.
So you're sitting up there and you see around the corner to the south this dog-headed little creature kind of pokes its head around the corner and look with wide, shiny eyes at the room and the 2 bubbles and the big-ass carriage.
Magic can't leave the tiny hut.
Yeah, so you shoot at him and it just splashes against the inside of the bubble.
Oh, damn.
And that's when you see another head kind of poke out above him. And above that one, another head.
Closest person to me. I'm gonna hit the closest person to me. Hey, there's something coming. Something coming. So, who's asleep? Whoever just got off watch probably be Gilbert and I'd hit.
Which one of the bubbles would you have been in? The one Mina put up or the one Nala put up?
I don't know.
I mean, who do you like better? Which bubble would you want to be on?
I promise this question isn't a trap. But this question is totally a trap.
He's
Hold
probably
on.
sitting in whichever one the most people are in. The one where he can keep, people from killing him.
I'll tell you what, I'll take odds, and Nala can have evens, and we'll just have that.
All right, that'll work. Fine, shit, whatever.
That way we don't have to determine that.
So Mina, Doc Dean, and Nala, David Gilbert.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wake up. Whoever's in the tent with me then.
Well, if I'm up and if it's within 400 feet, I'm going to start firing. I don't see why I wouldn't.
Mina's gonna say, stop.
Is there a reason why I wouldn't fire?
Those are kobolds, right?
Yeah, they're obviously kobolds.
Didn't Gilbert want to diplomatize with them?
Ah, yeah. I could only see their heads. I thought there was some, like, demon or some shit.
Yeah, they like duck back around the corner.
I did point the skull on the card towards the doorway, so that might have scared them.
And that's when you see a kobold walk around the corner, start walking into the room. And another. And another. And pretty soon there's just this procession. The room is beginning to fill up with kobolds.
Well, one of you has to go to the other bubble and wake those guys up.
God damn it, I'll go. Hey, no, Gilbert. There's a fuck ton of kobolds. Wake up.
I said those bubbles are next to each other, but they would, like, he'd have to walk between them and expose himself.
Yeah,
so.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you do that. Who's running between them?
That's me.
Do you understand Draconic?
I actually do.
Okay, yeah. So you hear murmuring coming from the over 100 kobolds now entering the room, and there are still people pouring in through that southern opening. You hear something about a new king as you go into the other bubble.
Yeah, so I proceed to wake the two up and whoever else is in there. I think, David?
What?
Oh, God,
What about
did I
David?
start a cult
We
again?
got kobolds.
Oh,
What does it mean?
yes.
Did I start a cult?
They're remembering
God
something
damn it.
about a king, too, so,
Hail to
I'm
the king, baby.
confused.
we should probably, deal with that.
There are now
There's about
200
100 of them
kobolds
by
in the room.
I'm confused. What's happening?
there are kobolds swarming the room that we're in.
We
It's
might
a
have
kobold.
We killed their boss.
Kobolds are
going to-
little bitty things. Looks like
Yeah,
little
they're little dog-like dragon men. Yeah.
I'm
we
going to.
finish?
We're
No,
trying
they
not to
don't
fight them.
hostile. But it is a bit
I'm-
unnerving.
Let me deal with this. You 3, 4, 3. That's too early for this shit. You guys go in the other bubble. I'll deal with this.
More and more kobolds keep pouring into the room. They don't seem to have weapons drawn.
You guys go in the other bubble. I'll deal with this.
That means y'all move.
Go on.
I'm
I don't feel
outside
comfortable
for
you
one.
going alone. I'm gonna go with you.
Shoot. Go on.
No. Go in the other bubble. If there's trouble, that will protect at least you guys.
I'm comfortable going with you.
It will take half a step. to
Mina's
get-
just gonna
I will
step.
be talking.
God. All right, fine. I'll cast Enhance Ability on myself. Using up most of the rest of my spell points.
Okay.
I'm just gonna knock on the other bubble.
And
Why?
I will step out of my bubble and collapse it in my dragon leather dress and
Mina whistles loudly.
and say in Draconic,
So you step out, and you can tell, because you can speak Draconic, right?
yes.
The 500 kobolds in the room are chanting. And it's, what are they saying? Oh, yeah. They're saying, "Hail to the king," just over and over and over again.
Hail to the king, he's the king and he's sailing.
Is there obviously a kobold that looks like dressed
the-
as a king?
Was the dragon a male or a female?
Pretty sure you took his gonads, right?
He never said he did. He just asked me what would be valuable, and I told him. He never said he did anything about with that knowledge.
I was
You don't know
underneath the
whether the
dragon
dragon's
looking
male or
up.
female. You didn't check.
I was underneath the dragon looking up at one point. Did I see?
Dragons are
No,
like
you did
cats.
not see. Yeah, they kind of
Yeah,
they don't dangle. If that's what you're asking.
Oh, they've
Okay.
got the reptilian fully retractable.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So they start chanting. They spot you. You see this kind of older looking shaman like kobold when you emerge. Nala kind of waves hands a little bit, and all of a sudden you hear the chant start to change. And it takes it like a half second or so for it to change, but now they're saying "Hail to the Queen."
I will address the room loudly enough. I will ask one time, why have you woken me?
All right, this elder looking like that shaman like kobold kind of steps forward. He's kind of taking shaky steps with this big wooden staff. You can see little baubles on it, kind of dangling. Looked like a couple shrunken heads, maybe. And he bows low in front of you, nearly touching his head to the ground. And he says, in Draconic, "Apologies, my liege. But we had heard that the king is dead, and a new queen has taken the throne. We simply came to pay our respects in the manner that is prescribed."
I will forgive you this one time, but be sure in the future to wait until I am awake. I am not pleased when I am woken up early.
My liege, we would have stayed here all night and all day, if necessary, to greet you.
And all your friends seem nice. What are they saying?
Do I know if kobolds normally speak common? Or
You
if they
know
understand?
they normally don't.
I will respond to Mina in common. I'm not going to say I started a cult, but I started a cult, and I'm their queen.
Mina is going to reach back into her belt and fail to take a swig of the booze, which is probably now empty, and be disappointed.
No, it's still about as full as it was when you got it.
Excuse me?
I think Mina's saying that she would have drank all of it.
That would have been quite a feat. She would have passed out before she finished.
Neat. Well, she's gonna take a swig then.
Yep.
This is definitely an occasion to drink.
Gilbert will step out of the bubble at this point, just kind of hang back and watch and listen.
Gilbert, I don't actually know what to do with a cult.
Hey, do we see that one that we held hostage briefly anywhere in here? Ask for that guy.
Make a perception check if you're looking for him.
I'll look for him, but also ask Nala to see if she can weasel him out.
I will also try to look, but I'm probably not the best for it. Do we get a name?
I don't. Oh, I wouldn't know as this character. But I don't think you fellas ever asked for his name.
We didn't.
Mina, you don't know. All the kobolds look alike.
That's racist! Well,
It's not
probably
racist
true
if
when
it's
there's 500 of them.
Mina would like to awkwardly wave at one, thinking it's him, and then it's gonna probably not recognize her, and then she's gonna be disappointed and take a swig of her.
Isn't the bubble opaque?
It is.
So they can see. We can see them. but
We're
they
all
can't-
stepped out of the bubble.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, I
okay.
missed that.
There
Yours
is no
collapsed,
bubble.
mine collapsed. There's no bubbles.
All right then.
I will address the crowd once again. The people assembled at my side are to be my generals. You will treat them with all the respect that you treat me. I will entertain no exceptions to this. I will be moving the seat of power, and you will be coming with me.
Nani?
Ask them if they saw when we blew up the mountain.
I'll ask her later.
My liege, preparations shall begin at once. Where, may I ask, are we headed?
Hey, where's that castle that had the? Oh, that's too far away.
Hey, under.
Mm-hmm.
Since Gilbert was an officer in the military, he would have had to deal with a certain degree of logistical concerns, right?
Yes, a certain degree.
How serious are? Well, no, I shouldn't say how serious. How extensive would the logistics be for, transplanting something like 200 kobolds elsewhere?
Not that bad.
500?
But there's 500 in the room right now. And you can see more standing out in the hall.
500.
Line them up. March. Force
What
march.
about 500?
Well, the room is kind of full. So 500 isn't all that bad. A few wagons of supplies, a constant train of supplies, coming in, can keep them pretty well set, even in hostile territory. The issue comes into when we're talking thousands and thousands.
All right.
Of course, no one's asked how large.
Yeah, this is just the ones that are in the room.
That's the next part.
Yeah, we should probably ask that.
Gilbert's going to kind of lean over to Nala and whisper that concern of logistics and population size.
I'm going to address this directly to the shaman. How many of your people are there?
In this mountain hold, we have about 1,800. 500 of which are trained soldiers ready to serve at your command, though all can bear arms should it be needed. Throughout your territory, I believe there are a few tens of thousands in different mountain holds here and there. No exact census has ever been taken.
How far does my new territory stretch?
The mountains, my liege, the mountains are yours.
And not beyond?
If you command it, we shall extend your influence in whatever direction you choose. Rio Ziadad had confined himself to the mountains. Those were his orders, and thus we obeyed.
Let's see.
out of character. There's no logistical way we're moving population of this tiny kobold country. It's like a little. I mean, it's it's like a tiny little petty kingdom down here.
So do we want to play like sim settlements and like just focus on production logistics?
Another
For, like,
settlement
2
is under
weeks.
attack.
Oh God!
God damn it.
God damn it, Preston Garvey.
Oh,
We must
God,
unite
Gilbert.
the settlements.
Just retire
Make the
Gilbert. He's now
mountains great
Preston
again.
Garvey.
Let's see if we can get enough information to figure out what the next closest dragonhold is, and then take it and expand to 2 populations of kobolds and try to not let them kill each other.
Wouldn't the most important thing we need to do be to do a census, get a tally of what we have in terms of population, warriors, egg hatchlings,
How high can kobolds
resource
count?
availability?
Well, they speak Draconic, so I would assume they're at least moderately intelligent. I can't think of any.
I mean,
bestial
he knows
creatures.
the word. Did say there were thousands, so it's like sounds like he's that. At least that kobold's not an idiot, so that's good.
He also mentioned census, so he knows what that is, and that's a start.
I said that already.
Under
not here.
did the Cobalt Sage say how many holds were in this territory?
Nope.
I will ask him how many holds are in the territory.
Some 24, sir.
Each with roughly equivalent population sizes?
Oh, not at all. Some of them, such as the one closer to less friendly factions, tend to be a bit on the smaller size, while some of the more central ones are quite large.
Dude, we have our own army. We need a base of operations.
We have it.
This.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're gonna fortify this place and make it our base of operations.
We
Go
don't
out!
have much choice because we ain't going somewhere else with this.
Yeah. With enough fabricates and stone shapes, I think we can make it happen. Make it a bit more homey, but God, that'll take a while. I'm down for it.
Make the kobolds do it. We have we have workmen now. 1,800 people that can work. Put them to work.
What do they normally do?
What craftsmen do you have? How skilled are they? What resources do you have? And what do you eat in the mountains?
We have craftsmen of leather, iron, stone, wood. Some jewelers as well, though they are, well, they're a bit of an odd folk, if you catch my meaning. And I'm sorry, in my old age, I forgot, my liege. What were your other questions?
Resources available? Food? How many craftsmen? Hundreds, thousands,
Dozens, my liege, dozens.
dozens.
Per home. As for supplies, we have here weapons and armor for all the warriors. We have food to last us through the remainder of the winter until we can get out and hunt more game. Dried meats and the like. As for what we eat, we are a mostly carnivorous people, my liege. We eat anything we can kill.
What are you normally able
Dude.
to kill?
Dude.
Bears, rocks, owl bears.
Occasional mountain traveler.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've hunted rocks before.
Me personally, no. One does not get to such an old age by taking such stupid risks. Some of the youngins have. Once or twice, they've even ended up killing the thing. Never without casualties, though, and often not returning at all.
Okay.
What shall we call you, my liege?
I am Nala.
Yes, I understand that may be your name, but if I may, what regnal name do you wish to be known to us as?
I suppose Queen Nala will be sufficient for now.
Of course, Queen Nala.
Did the previous king have any offspring, mates, close contacts? I find it unlikely he would have any contacts, but he was kind of a prick.
He has sired half-dozen dragons throughout his realm. They will need to swear their fealty to you or be brought to heel, I think. Probably
Indeed.
the latter.
Get the names and addresses of the dragons.
It's like more profit, more adventures.
Now would be the time for us to set up a new game because our party is becoming big bad.
We're not
only
becoming
talking
big
of-
bad. We're controlling first. That's not inherently evil.
I would
We're
like
authoritarian, not evil.
We're lawful, not authoritarian. Jeez.
I would like the
That
names
is lawful.
Yes.
I
But
would like
lawful
the
is a
names and
nice way to
last
say
known
it.
locations of all the dragons that he had sired. The living ones, at least.
I'm afraid I do not know. They were not keen on myself or any close associate of King Ziadud with knowing their location for fear of, well, to be perfectly frank, Rio Ziadud did not share power. If a dragon got too powerful, that dragon died.
Good old case of filicide.
It is quite likely that upon hearing of the death of Rio Ziadud, that one of two things will happen. Okay, one of three things, though one is quite unlikely. The most unlikely thing is that they will swear fealty to you, Queen Nala. I mean, no offense by this, but in all likelihood they will not. They will instead try to kill you and take your place. It is the way of dragons.
I had
I'm
expected
surprised they
as
wouldn't even
much.
try to trick him.
I'm
Huh.
afraid that they will be sorely disappointed. I am prone to not dying. What are the other two likely options?
Well, there is a chance that they will seek shelter elsewhere, that they will leave this area and probably not return for some time. But when they do return, again, with the trying to kill you.
The third?
They will seek to maintain their position through outside alliances. These will probably be your most dangerous adversaries.
Well, if they're not actively trying to kill me, diplomacy is possible, if unlikely. And one less enemy on the table is one less area I have to worry about.
Indeed. The western dragons will be the hottest to bring in line because of Freinag's lair to the north. And I need to look up a name. Sorry.
As the
a
old
hit list. You have to
kobold
look up
pulls
a
out a
hit
book,
list.
a big book.
The
And
big book of Draconic
Yarvat's
nobility.
lair to the south. Those dragons are likely to see this succession as a sign of weakness and make a play for your territory.
Oh shit, we are gonna have to play Sim Settlement for a little bit.
How long will it
Hold on.
take them to discover this?
Probably days.
Days to a week on the outside, I would say. Freynog might be open to diplomacy, as your general said. Yarvat is brash and is likely to simply take what he thinks he can.
Are those dragons as big as this one was?
Oh, yes. Yes, they were the original 5. Ancient as the stones that we stand upon.
Oh god, don't tell me the other colors are.
Oh, I
Very
imagine
well,
the course.
I shan't tell you.
No, do tell me, but I already have a feeling what you're gonna say.
Well, Freynog is, as you should well know, an ancient green dragon to our north and west. Yarvat is an ancient blue dragon to the desert to the south and west.
We've met.
Oh, have you now?
He was quite unpleasant.
I have heard of this, yes. I'm surprised you are still alive.
Diplomacy is a wonderful thing sometimes.
That's
He gives you this look like he has no idea how you managed diplomacy with Yarvat and survived. It's baffling
Demons.
to him.
Demon horde.
yeah.
That's out of character.
demon.
That's out of character because I wouldn't have known that.
We succeeded diplomacy due to a mutual adversary.
Oh,
We were-
yes, the demons that had
general.
struck the east. Yes, I see.
Yes, we were the
Oh.
team that went into the abyss to fight the Demogorgon and collapse his portal. It was equally unpleasant.
Well, don't expect his goodwill to have lasted this long.
I expected his goodwill to run out as soon as we left visual sight of him.
Even that would be stretching it sometimes.
Extenuating circumstance.
If you say so, sir.
Green, blue, red. And what were the
Black and
others?
white.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Correct, you
thinking.
assume that the last two are black and white.
And I already have an idea where the green is found. Specific region.
Oh, Frazia, as you mentioned, is far to the north, at the point of no return. He is, quite frankly, an isolationist. We don't have to worry about him, and he is far away. For now.
And you said there was a green one.
Oh, yes, in the depths of the forest to the northwest of here.
Across the Great Rift?
Indeed.
Do the Queen's holdings stretch past the rift along the mountain range towards Brobo and Jedge?
Yes, Brobo was more of a border settlement, an experiment, I think, of some of my kin. Apparently that did not go as well as one would have hoped. But Kisra Keep is yours, as is Jack. Officially, we never explored much past the Black Terminus or Isil's Folly. Though Yes?
Do you keep map records?
No. Rio Ziadud deemed maps a security risk and ordered us to destroy them all. We were not ones to disobey.
If you had a map of the current continent, would you be able to point out any holdings of note?
I believe so, yes.
Do you know any magic by chance?
Oh, my days of slinging the weave are well and truly behind me at this point. I dare say it likely won't survive another attempt.
Do you know of any others who use magic regularly?
Yes, we have a couple of magic users among us.
Are they wizards, clerics?
I believe you would classify them as sorcerers.
Okay. That could be useful.
So did you say you had a map you wanted me to look at?
Right. Gilbert, if you would.
I pull out the continent map along with the Hobgoblin map.
Okay. Kind of grumbles as he kind of looks over and like, well, there was a settlement there. And that used to be ours, though we haven't occupied it for some time. That was destroyed. Kisra Keep is technically ours, though a ruin. Brobo and Jack are destroyed. The northern gateway is still there, I assume. The Black Terminus and Isil's Folly are borderlands. We've made regular incursions in there and prevented anyone else from claiming it, but we have not established any permanent presence in either of them, here and here.
Hey, Under.
There's a lot of information, dear God.
On the map, can you like actually show us a picture of that part?
Yes, I can. Give me 1 second.
Yay. Map.
Yeah.
Yay. Army.
So, how are we going to approach this as a party? I assume that we're going to want to keep our holdings and maybe expand? Because I don't think we're going to diplomacy the nearest neighbor, at least the nearest neighbor.
If we want to get really technical, I have a laundry list of basic statesman stuff we'd probably want to get done in order to understand our domain.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if they have, like, what do you call them, generals? strategists, tacticians among them
That's
that
why
are
I
familiar
appointed
with
the
the craft of
party as
war.
generals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but you fucking better believe we should, speaking with their
Yes,
tacticians
people
as
that are
well.
already established and have the experience of the lands and holdings.
Military theory will still hold true here, but as far as I've seen, they tend to specialize in guerrilla and in fixed position warfare. A lot of defensive fighting,
Yeah.
close quarters kind of thing. I'd like to make sure I understand what the resources they have.
I could teach them to be bards.
You could.
That under.
Yes.
In any of the nations of the old world, did they have a system where they would like test the population for arcane aptitude?
Not really.
It was more of a, if you have magic, you are welcome to apply as a magic user for these magic jobs sort of thing.
Yeah, they sort of self-selected a lot of it.
All right, so it's mostly self-selection. All right. World-wise, is there any kind of like restrictions on what prevents a person from, say, just becoming a mage? Is it like
Yes. Becoming a mage requires a lot of study. That study has a cost. People have to pay tuition to go study the books. They're not easily found. People of certain aptitude can apply for scholarships or apprenticeships with other wizards, and in exchange for terms of service, can essentially they'll be his apprentice, his servant for 10 years, and will learn magic as under his tutelage in exchange. Or they kind of join the military type thing. They sign up, they join the army. Basically say that, for 2 decades of their life, they will serve the armed forces, and in return, the army will teach them magic if they have an aptitude for it. Otherwise, they'll just be a grunt for 20 years.
how do they determine who has the aptitude?
Put them through basic training.
I'm basically looking to apply Bellothland military science to the Cobalt societal structure.
See, most kobolds are
Like, how does boot
sorcerers.
camp work?
Most kobolds seem to be sorcerers if they're arcanists. That is a thing you are more or less born
with.
with or strike a deal into.
In that regard, breeding programs.
Yeah, we could.
God.
Clerics and paladins make oaths and pacts with the gods. Warlocks make oaths with otherworldly entities. Druids are weird hippie people that teach other weird hippie people and then induct them into a cult that they call a circle. Bards and wizards are pretty much the only two that I can think of that are really taught.
Precisely. That's why I'm asking about them. How do we determine which recruits have the aptitude in order to continue their training?
Given that most are sorcerers, they would likely be more. They would likely have more of an aptitude towards being a bard than a wizard.
Oh, absolutely.
But we can just give them a crash course, and the ones that pick it up quickly are going to be the people we would give the more advanced courses.
Of course.
Would I
we don't need to
assume the
have a lot
tinkers
of
among
people.
them be more inclined to the art of artificing?
Precisely.
They don't have class features the way you guys do. I mean, they basically have their monster stat block, and that's about it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So we're not getting an army of level 1 artificers and bards.
Right.
Oh, that's not what I was. That's not what I meant. I was thinking more like.
We're not getting an army of level 20 artificers, bards, and wizards.
No, God, no. Line of questioning was more along the lines of
Can
partly
we
a RP process, but also partly a. Given that there are some of those stat blocks, is it possible to potentially convert, say, a sorcerer into the equivalent of a wizard, or insert other class? Diversify the details of the block instead of fully changing them.
No.
Okay. Rats. All right.
That sounds much more difficult to run when you have an army full of these guys.
Yeah.
That'd probably
Let's
be
keep it
just a
simple.
handful of them, but yeah. All right.
Sorry. My immediate thought went to, how can I make this into a war game?
I mean, D&D already pretty much is a war game.
When you have a 10-player party, it is.
Yeah. So that's why I treat it like that.
That's all right.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can export this easily. Just give me a second.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell we're gonna do next.
Oh, I'm already pondering.
Yeah, we should probably do like a handful of things at the same time, and only have like 2 things in mind.
General stuff we'd have to assuming we want to truly exert political power throughout this domain. We're going to want maps, a census. Probably visit each of the holdings.
And we're probably going to want to keep a very close eye on the border settlements of our very near neighbor.
Exact. Which very near neighbor? We have the God Emperor Pejima. We've got 2 asshole ancient dragons, and then we have
The
Gissyoda
Necroturber.
skulking
The
around
Necroturber.
somewhere.
Yoda's least likely to fuck with us. The blue fucker in the desert's kind of far away. It's the one in the forest that I'm most concerned with. And I think there is a dragon a
Is there
bit
like
further
a
away.
mail service? Can we get one of these kobolds to deliver a slip of mail to one of his kobolds with a letter that says, "We want our cart back and our stuff now, please"?
Under.
Just a
Yeah.
little diplomatic missive.
Do you think that Pejima would accept the right of conquest as a valid transference of royalty?
Yes.
I mean, the dragons accept it. I'm not sure what you mean by would he accept it. Would he acknowledge you guys as king of this area? Is that what you're asking?
Would he oppose it?
Over.
Would he seek to destroy the kingdom?
Probably no more than he would with dragons, except for we're probably easier targets.
Yeah.
That's not a question I can answer.
Okay.
We don't know his motive.
Pretty much. I mean, that would require you to completely know what he's thinking. You know what his stated intentions have been. You've met with him. You'd have to draw your own conclusions from that.
What were his stated intentions again? To build up his own kingdom, right?
Yeah, that's his current MO.
Yeah.
We believe him. He did say though that his relations with the previous ruler, these mountains, was one of effectively keeping distance from each other and live and let live.
Yeah. That sounds
Generally
pretty
not taking
isolationist consistent.
That
Yeah,
being
but of
said,
course, there was also a dragon that was here.
precisely, that was an ancient red dragon.
Yeah.
In this
Keyword is
regard,
But we
the-
did kill the ancient red dragon, so that
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
leaves us in a technically weakened position. While we do
Well,
have
you'd
a
have to
great-
look at it like we actually did kill the dragon.
Yes, but we're not going to be all here at the same time all the time.
Exactly, and a party like ours is
Always
incredibly
moving.
effective in a tactical sense. Any single target or a target and their entourage is not going to be able to survive prolonged combat with us. An ancient red dragon, however, we were able to kill him, is more devastating, I would surmise, to armies and economies.
Yeah, we don't have the.
We're better at individual and
We
skirmish sized.
do.
Yeah, we're better at individual and skirmish sized conflicts. Dragons
Mhm.
are much better at sieges and army sized warfare.
They
Precisely.
breathe. Full new army.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
In that regard, even if you are operating an army of the undead, the constant wear and tear on those bodies
That's gonna be fucking
will
annoying.
eventually result in you going from having an army of powerful and, skilled undead to probably running around with mere skeletons and zombies. Well, quite frankly, you can't exactly conquer and hold an area with soldiers less intelligent than, well,
Kobolds.
farming.
It depends on like your definition, because conquering and holding, like, do you need a populace that can do work, or is it okay to just hold it and make sure everybody's dead? Because you could do that with only unintelligent creatures if you have enough of them.
Yeah, but
And
everything else about what Pejima has been doing seems to indicate take, hold, and have a living populace.
skeletons and zombies are a proxy for the intelligence of their master. If they are given an order, they will follow it, even if the order is beyond their capabilities. They'll try to follow it.
I think it's technically a 10-word limit. 5 or something. I'm thinking of an older edition.
I think you're thinking of an older edition. I don't remember that on any undead stat block.
It's probably an older edition then.
I've also never really studied stat blocks in more detail than, oh, this is scary. Next page. Oh, this is scary. Next page.
So yeah, census, map records, depending, we may or may not want to start engaging in the early stages of diplomacy with our neighbors.
Well, we should send an envoy, I think, to every neighbor with, some kind of missive to establish communications with each one of them. I think that's typical.
We'll also need to
Reaching
learn the
out.
minor powers.
Yeah.
Should probably also
Tribes
announce
to the west.
intentions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's sort of the point of that initial communique is, you know,
I'm of the mind, though, that at least with the kobold or more civilized people, we can use a kobold or similar messenger. In the case of the orcs and the undead to the west, I would recommend a more stern, awe-inspiring approach, preferably entering and killing their leader as a show of force.
So that's
That's what
basically what the kobolds know about the kingdom.
Why would we kill their leader when we can
Oh,
take
that
him
is
hostage?
beautiful.
why would we take their leader hostage when they can just get a new one?
We will be their new leader.
Yeah, but it's like
Precise.
orcs. It's like orcs. That way we're already there to accept our new allegiance, like swearing from everybody,
Under?
and people want to swear fealty.
Yes.
Which one of these sites are we at?
You see the one that says Lair of Rio Ziadud?
Somehow I had missed that. Yes, I do see that.
It's also the only one that's like, it looks like a monster with red eyes on it.
Right, the one that is fairly obviously is. Yeah, okay. And then what's it say? Guildhall and Temple of the Ancient Casters?
Masters. You've been there.
Like, can you repeat that?
It's the Guildhall and Temple
Masters.
of the Ancient Masters. You guys have been there
Right.
before. Big tall
the one
structure
with that,
on the top of a
Yep.
motte where you gotta like climb up, like a mountain, and it's like a flattened mountain. There was
I
a
remember
room
that.
inside that was glowing white, and you fought something from the Shadow Realms.
Yep.
This wasn't
and
the
there was-
Minecraft room, was it? The creeper room?
No,
No,
that's
that's
Datho.
yeah.
This is also. Oh wait, Mick, you were absent during this section of the trek.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, this was during your months of absence.
I remember
Oh,
Thunder
perfect.
describing a mott, but I don't actually like the earthworks, but I don't actually remember anything else about them.
Oh darn!
I
it.
can probably
And
pull
then-
up the picture I have for that. Give me a second. What is that? That's 221 138.
It's from a ways back.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, I think we've been to the Black Terminus as well. Under. Does the Black Terminus match up with that cliffside fortress where we fought the Eaters of Dust and the Iron Golems?
Yeah, same location.
All right. Okay, so there's somewhere a pathway to Isil's Folly. Okay, so looking at this map, one of the things we might consider doing, because we've already been to the mines of Kartnam, Gartnum, probably advancing west, check out, just kind of visit each hold along the way. This would also give us a good opportunity to stop by one of our older fortifications. At each site, taking a census and getting an understanding of what resources they possess. And then we should perhaps retake Brobo and Pjolslith? Pjols?
I'm more concerned with ensuring what our neighbors are going to do before we start taking stuff.
That's what I'm saying. We send out the envoys, and as that's occurring, we visit our domain.
Apologies, sir. The
Group of
X
kobolds
over
there?
the holds or the villages marks where they were destroyed. There's nothing there for you to reconquer.
As in scorched earth, not a building left standing?
Well, in the case of Fiozilith, at the edge of the rift, it's more like the mountain fell over.
Were we responsible for that?
I don't think so. How old are you?
24.
Then the rift creation predates you by several centuries at least.
I see.
I know we visited Brobo. The town was fairly well gutted, but could be valuable to revisit, scour any demon presence remaining in the domain. Arkur. That's in Orc Encampment?
Yes, sir. They are a nomadic people, but there are several areas where they are known to congregate and meet, mostly between clans. Semi-permanent settlements, if you would. They tend to form there, as in the past we have traded with them out of Isil's Folly, caravanning from the northern gateway.
Diplomatic relations being mutual friendly?
I wouldn't call it friendly. Skirmishes have occurred. Raiding on trading caravans is fairly standard among us. We hit them, they hit us. It's. I'm trying to think of how best to put this to you, because you are not a dragon. Queen Nala would understand. They had nothing we wanted. We had no reason to conquer them, and so we didn't.
We may have to change that logic.
Under his helm, Gilbert's gonna smirk at that jab about the dragons.
Ask him how orc tastes.
It's rather spongy.
Like a fungus?
Yes.
Oh
would have
god, these
never
are
guessed.
40k orcs.
Let's maybe not.
Warhammer orcs. Okay, let's stay away. I don't want to fight the Green Tide. Judge wiped out. How far is the northern gate? Were they damaged heavily during the demon invasion?
No, a few scouts headed that way, but overall it fared fairly well. As it was our main point of contact that we had used in the past with, oh shit, what's her name? How many goddamn names to look up? It's our main point of contact with Freynog. We had some friendly assistance from the forest during that. Freynog and Rioziadad, though they did not, let's just say they agreed on where their territories lied, and for the sake of not fighting to the death over nothing, agreed to not invade each other's territory. With his death, I would not believe that agreement to be still in effect.
For purposes of diplomacy, it might be valuable to attempt to keep
Sure,
that peace going.
I'm sure we can renew those relationships.
I'm sure you can.
I want to ask if this the shaman here is going to be able to keep order and stop all of these kobolds from eating each other while we're like doing official stuff and not here.
Well, I should think
Kobolds like
so.
animals.
Just because I don't do magic anymore doesn't mean that they know that. Never you forget, age and treachery will always hold in the end against youth and exuberance.
Are there any minor powers in the area we need to be aware of? Small scale rivals.
The structure north of Kaisers is, well, there used to be a group of liches that operated out of that, but I have not seen them as active in some time.
Did they have a name?
None that I ever cared to learn, but that doesn't mean they don't have one. They mostly kept to themselves and and dealt with matters in the north. I believe they built a stronghold there merely because they wished to protect themselves against invasion from land. Rio Ziadad seemed to tolerate their presence. He never saw fit to confide as to why.
Have you heard of an Order of the Silverglades?
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay. Under how far are we from the Silverglade Sanctuary that we kind of took over?
Well, each of those hexes is 12 miles.
I'm eyeballing that as somewhere around 200.
Okay.
And so, Queen Nala, what are your orders? You notice every kobold is just staring at you.
For now, I believe my generals would like to speak to your military, arcane, and craftsmen leaders. And I have some tasks that I am going to be putting you in charge of.
Very good. Shall I dismiss the rest then?
For now, I would like to.
Alright, you lot of ass whipping cunt fuckers, get the hell out of here.
I would like
I
to
see you
speak with
too.
them eventually, but now is not the time for that.
Alright. Yeah, you begin to see the large majority of the kobolds begin to shuffle out.
All right. Gilbert, I will give you as much command
Sleuth,
as you need.
I can't really hear you.
Is that better?
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
Yeah, my mic drops a quarter of an inch and it does that.
Mm.
Gilbert, I will give you all the command you need over the military. That will be your, whatever you want to call it, your project. Does anybody else have any particular skills that they could make use out of?
What do you mean? What kind of skills? What skills are we talking about here? I have a lot of skills.
My background under is urban infrastructure, which makes me more familiar with the structures of buildings and walls and such.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
nice.
suppose I could help in any way with that information
Do you
and
see
how to
any
support these
cities?
people.
Like, the kobold burrows are kind of dug out of mountains. They're not so much constructs in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would his general knowledge of city planning be able to assist in fortifying the boroughs?
Partially. It's
Could I?
a lot of that type of engineering would have been kind of constrained in like 2D with only a little bit of consideration for air. Kobolds dig in 3 dimensions. They're the mazes that make up their homes are vertical as well as horizontal.
They also had a dragon telling them how to do things, so they're probably okay as far as that's concerned.
Also, yeah, if you tell them to do something a certain way, they're going to do it that way. So, I mean, your knowledge will have some use, but it's not like 1-to-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's gonna have to be some like conversion and talking things through to get it to be applicable here.
So I'm thinking you and when he arrives, the lieutenant will be in charge of fortifications and other such defenses.
Would I also be able to, and I'm just humoring this, like, I'm not actually seriously considering it, would I be able to provide basic amenities to these people? Like, do they have aqueducts already? How they get their water?
Well, the mines of Gardenham have a river nearby that they've sort of tapped into subterraneanly. Oh, what was that? Zoldreen, as you can see, is kind of like that mountain has a spring in it. Same with the Northern Gateway. That's how they were supplying their waters. You don't know how the destroyed settlement was, Kazis, how it gets its water. But given the construct of the rock in the area, they probably have an aquifer.
Wait,
Yeah.
Kazis, the one right by the Silverglade base?
Yeah.
That one's not X'd out.
Right. I meant the other one. The destroyed one, you have no idea how that got its water.
Okay.
There's no records left. Kazis, you know the general geography would suggest the presence of an aquifer, but you don't know. Like, there's nothing. You just like there's water down there. You dig, there's water.
I'm gonna be heading out early, guys.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, Under, I'd like the old shaman guy is still here, right?
Yep.
What's his name, by the way? What is your name?
I am Zagari.
God.
Do you have a rank?
Give him a rank. Make something up.
I am
Colonel.
your humble servant.
Make him the Grand Vizier. That way, when he stabs us in the back, he'll
It perpetuates his
be
stereotype.
fine.
New month.
Of the non-meat based products that the kobolds consume, what else do they eat? Are fungus, fish,
Fish is meat.
certain limited kinds of agriculture?
We can farm mushrooms, and we do consume them. But meat is definitely the preference.
Ask them if they brew any alcohol.
Do you have alcohol?
Of course. Mostly made from distilling the mushrooms we grow.
I'm gonna need some of that.
I would like to try some, as would at least one of my companions.
He hands over a flask to you, Nala.
I'll take a sip and hand it to Mina.
Okay. You take a sip, Mina.
How big is the flask?
It's a normal flask size. About a
Yeah,
pint
Mina just
total.
downs it.
Okay.
Mina will down it and then hand it back to the guy.
Okay. So you down it. Mina takes a sip. I'll need both of you to make Constitution saves.
Oh, damn.
Does Nala benefit from immune to poisons?
Ooh, only a very average roll.
Yes, you
Technically,
are.
now I couldn't be able to get drunk then.
Right, she's immune to poison. Well, this isn't about drunkenness. Mina?
Yep.
I don't know how to say this. You just drank an alcoholic drink mixed with mescaline.
Oh, neat.
So you're kind of seeing sounds and tasting colors at the moment.
Oh, that's great. Mina's just gonna go stand in the back of the treasure hoard with her sword out, making whoosh whoosh sounds.
Okay.
What the hell is in that drink? What the fuck?
This is how much of this do you produce annually?
Gallons? Everyone drinks it.
We need more. That's very saleable.
Yes.
If you say so. Normally humans die after drinking large quantities of it. But okay, we can provide you large quantities of it.
That's partly
Humans
the
die
idea.
after doing lots of stuff. They still do it.
I'm still here, yeah.
Gilbert, you have died multiple times.
Me too.
You only died once, didn't you?
That's true.
There you go.
But you know what?
Oh.
I can guarantee I'm gonna die at least once more. So
It is very likely. Everybody dies eventually.
I mean, here's the way I see it. I've died 3 times, and I have 3 souls. I think the dragon ones pay off in dividends, personally.
As far as I know, I only have one such soul. As does Mina. As does everybody else except for you. So I don't think the ability to shake off death is related to the amount of souls you're carrying around.
Yeah, but can you breathe a cone of fire or a cone of cold?
Mina's gonna say, "Yeah, but can you do this and stand?"
So
And then
that's
what?
that's what Mina tries to say. Everyone is just kind of hearing babbling coming from her. Drunken babbling.
She's just shouting gibberish at one of the back cables.
What the fuck?
Gilbert, make sure she doesn't die.
I'm pretty sure she won't.
You could be surprised. How long does it take for this to kill a human, normally?
Depends how much they drink. For the amount
With how much
she took, usually kills them in a few hours.
That's great.
Yeah, has a hell of a come down for humans.
Hmm. How much time do we have left on our rest? How long have we been up? Fuck, do we have to start another long rest?
So it's been about an hour. So yeah, you need to start another long rest.
God damn it.
That's fine.
Before we start that, I'd like to give an order to the vizier.
He is definitely promoted to Grand Vizier.
Yeah, to the Grand Vizier.
Thank you, my liege.
That
Do
starting
not
tomorrow,
The Grand
we will need
Poobah.
a survey. We will need the start of a survey of population, and then basically just all the kind of military supplies. We're talking capable soldiers, population, what age categories, that kind of thing, supplies,
And it will be done.
defensive. Excellent.
You should
Basically,
probably.
I'm saying I'd like all of your notes.
Well, he would inform you that it will take several months to complete the survey of the entire kingdom.
As expected.
You
Out of
should
character.
probably fix Mina before she
Oh
comes
yeah,
down with not
I was
enough
gonna say, whenever the high stops being fun, Mina would like to cast lay on hands on herself.
Okay. It stops being fun about the time the colors start to bleed together, and you begin thinking you're standing on the ceiling, and it's causing nausea.
Yeah. About the time the projectile vomiting starts is when Mina would like to lay on hands herself to get rid of poison and then heal for a couple of points.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that, and it clears right up.
I
Mina's
have
gonna
to
say that
go.
was fun.
I have to go for a bit.
Okay. You notice when you look at like the little bit of vomit you did have up that there is, besides normal vomit, there's also some amount of green sludge and blood in it.
Well, that's appealing, isn't it?
You cut out. That was my internet dying for a moment.
Oh,
Green
I said
sludge?
that. Yeah, as it comes down, and your head clears. You do see like a little puddle of the vomit you did eject before healing yourself when you realize it stops being fun. And besides the normal vomit in there, you also see a bit of green sludge and a little bit of blood.
Neat.
Oh my god, this chemicalism.
Wonder if there's
That
a way
wasn't
to
the
like
worst
artificially
drink that
produce
Mina's
it.
ever had.
Well, I mean, it's just absinthe doped with LSD.
Well,
I'm just thinking of all of the uses.
Such as recreational meditation.
Actually, that is not one of the ones that came to mind. Although, yeah, Gilbert could use that for the meditation stuff. I was more thinking that, take like say a really concentrated dose of this crap and start poisoning the water supply of your enemies.
Those high effects were immediate. We would have to delay that for a bit, but it could be done.
Exactly. Hell, even immediate effects would be handy. Like at a party. Gather all your enemies into one place. Spike. Oh, actually, that is something to remember in the event of less than honest interactions with at least human kingdom, if need be. Spike the beverages with the mushroom concentrate. The kobolds should be fine, but the human attendants would be rendered very, very vulnerable.
We should start our long rest.
We should.
Yeah.
All right. So you dismiss the kobolds.
Where can we find you normally, Grand Vizier?
Simply come to this chamber and speak my name thrice, and I shall be here.
Aye.
All right, but anyway, you guys go down for a long rest. And it goes without incident.
Yay.
Okay. Just FYI, I am changing the spell storing item thing, and I just read up, you're not allowed to put anything that does not use an action to cast. So I could not have done Sanctuary, and I will not be doing that for the future.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll probably be using Fairy Fire for this one.
Okay.
Actually, for future reference, should I tell you what magic items I'm changing out?
If it's just standard stuff from the Arcanist list and things like that, no, I don't need to know. Don't really care.
Alrighty then.
If really you only need to tell me if you're doing something really weird that you need permission for.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm seriously considering getting some of that distilled mushroom shit and trying it on the hookah.
Okay. I mean, you can ask for it. They'll probably give it to you.
Yeah.
Cobalt is pretty common.
Do we have a game plan for what we want to do in the morning before I really goof off?
I mean, my thought process is we could go north of the jungle, tour the kingdom, or continue on with that last quest Pejma gave us. That's my line of thought.
Yeah. I still want to get that breastplate. Dragonfied? Oh. I don't suppose there's a spot to take out like 20 pounds of bone and insert 20 pounds of steel. I don't mind trading out this half plate that I'm wearing for that.
I mean, you could.
May I?
That's up to the party if they don't mind you fucking with the cart.
What is
What
so
are you
important
doing to
to
it?
fuck with the cart?
I'd like to change out some of the bone for metal. I'd like some bone from the cart.
You're replacing it with
But we didn't have any
equal
more
weighted
metal left, did we? Yeah, I mean.
No, he's giving metal to the cart and taking bone out.
Yes.
So what kind of metal are you putting in?
This is high quality metal that I'm aware of. It's not like iron or pig iron or some shit. This is metal suitable for weapons and armor. Should be fine.
Pig iron is actually a steel with a high carbon content, as I recall.
Yeah.
And you don't want to use it for armors and weapons because it's incredibly brittle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hard as hell, but brittle as shit.
Yeah. This you don't have to worry about breaking. Is that fine with the party?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, if you break the cart, we get your share.
Yeah.
What if we install a pedal system?
This thing's about a half a ton, ain't it? I'm not
Right,
sure
right,
a pedal system's
We
gonna
don't
really
need a
help.
pedal system. We can just lash 500 kobolds to the front.
That sounds incredibly inefficient.
But fun.
Yeah, but we don't have to do anything, so who cares if it's inefficient?
It's a waste of resources.
Could I find a place to do this under, like, maybe the back of the cart? Describe the cart to me again. Is it like a full cart or is it just a skeleton frame?
It's think of a box. All right. And it's a box without sides because you have to be able to get in and out. It has a couple of axles running under it with some wheels. And it has half of a dragon skull welded to the front, out of which there's some stuff for attaching an animal or two. In this case, a griffin. And and the forehead of the dragon kind of creates like a little ridge where you can sit up there to guide the animals. And inside, you guys have placed mounds and mounds of gold and platinum.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. That's the cart. The corners are reinforced with iron, but the broad sheeting of it has been done in bone.
How about the seats? Are those bone too?
There are no seats. It is a box on wheels.
I have returned. What did I miss?
I'm trying to consider where exactly to replace some of the bone that we have in the cart with steel.
Should probably go from the bottom up.
Yeah, that's actually the
Steel
least
would be-
recognizable difference. I
steel
like
would
the
also
aesthetic
be
so
heavier.
far. How about that, Under? Does that sound feasible?
Sure.
Then I do the thing.
Okay. Yeah, you replace some of the baseboard with steel, and you craft yourself a dragon bone breastplate.
Hurrah! Could I put some scales in that too? They don't need to be practical, but I just like to have some scales.
Yeah, fortunately, there's that whole mass of dragon flesh, like in the middle of the room, that no one's cleaned up yet. Yeah, there's scales and flesh all over there.
Ah, yes.
How heavy is the massive dragon flesh?
You
We
should
grill some of it up, like, you know.
you should give your new friend some dragon, and we should have given the Grand Vizier a cloak too. He's small.
Is he still around?
We can
You
call
don't
if
see
I
him
need
anywhere.
more
But he said he
times.
just have-
Anyway, there is probably close to 800 pounds of skin and scales still there.
800 pounds of corpse?
No, the whole corpse itself probably weighs close to 2 tons. But a
Okay.
lot of it is like muscle meat that you really have no use for, I guess.
Kobolds might.
Yeah.
Do kobolds eat dragon? Or would that be a
Not to
form
your
of
knowledge, they
cannibalism?
worship dragons. If anything, they're going to be very reverent with this corpse.
Oops.
Well, we're gonna use every part. I think that's reverent, right?
It's been deboned for them. I feel like we could
Huh.
probably, like give them some keepsakes or something.
Commemorative bone china plates.
Hey, there you go.
Actually, this does raise a question. How long are we willing to stay here? Just in downtime.
How long are you gonna pay me for? Oh right,
How much
I
gold is there?
get
I
a
mean,
cut of the loot.
yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to go into town and bring us some booze.
Yeah. Somebody that can preferably walk fast.
Because
I
if we
have
can,
a Griffin with saddlebags. I can fly fast.
That'll work. Hey, that'll work.
I can also carry a lot with that. The problem.
So what are we gonna
is-
do with all this loot in this wagon? Are we gonna like set up a base here and make this a new vault or something, or what are we gonna do?
That would be the most convenient thing to do.
I mean, it seems like we can't move the population of kobolds that we're gonna count on to protect our stuff. So, I mean, we have no choice. We have to build our base here. Although we could build it elsewhere slightly, it still needs to be on this mountain.
I don't think this
We don't
mountain
even know.
specific.
We don't actually know exactly where we are, so maybe we should like have somebody walk outside and figure out where we are in relation to the rest of the mountain. Like, are we way up the mountain? Are we way down inside? Like, where even are?
How long was the
Um,
Griffin flying? Under?
About 3 minutes.
Uh, about 3 minutes. So it'd probably take us about 8 minutes. Walking, maybe running, depending on how fast the Griffin was flying, to get back up. Uh,
I mean, if possible, I would like to spend I mean, if it's cool with everyone, maybe like a week of downtime here, so we can, or at least so Gilbert can learn more about the kobolds, their practices, beliefs, that kind of stuff. That way we can rule wisely.
I think that'd be most prudent.
Okay, I'm not all about ruling. I'm all about hitting things with a sword. So if you want me to do nothing and sit here, I will do that for as long as you want, boss. But I can't really help you. What I can do is drink up all the booze.
How about you help train the troops so you can smack them? And when you're not training the troops, booze. Copious amounts of booze.
I liked everything you just said to me.
I will return to town with teleportation, but that will take a day for me to get back. And I will be able to do a shopping run as necessary. Also, I could ask Odwick if he needs manual labor because we have it now. I'm going to cast Sending to Odwick and say, so I may have started a cult and become queen of 10,000 plus kobolds. Do you need help at Port Hemor?
He's probably
In
trying to
return
sleep.
for what?
Sending again. Future cooperation? I don't know. Consider it goodwill. I grew up in Port, mostly. I like the place. Oh, after I got out of the cult, at least. That kind of sucked.
Sure. We could use some manual labor. How many bodies did you say you had again?
Sending again. No accurate census yet, but upwards of 10,000. This includes at least several dozen artisans or craftsmen, probably not artisans. And some arcanists. I don't think they can help too much with this.
Well, we could use the masons and about 1,000 or so workers to help shore up the outer walls.
How long would it take for Nala on foot to march to Port Hammer?
On foot. So let's see. Mountains are at that. Fastest would be this. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'll take you about 10 days. About 30 days. Most of that's just getting out of the mountains. Once you're out of the mountains, it's only about a 9-day journey.
Only a 9-day journey.
Yeah, but it's going to take you close to 22 days to get out of the mountains on foot.
We need to make ourselves one of them damn airships. I mean, airships. What are those?
I'm going to cast Sending to the recently appointed Grand Vizier. Is there a teleportation circle in here, and can we spare roughly 1,000 laborers and stonemasons?
We're gonna build us our own gate.
There are no permanent teleportation circles in this area. Rio Ziadad considered them a security risk and destroyed them all. We can spare 1,000 laborers, no problem, but we don't have 1,000 masons to send.
Would it be closer for us to get to the closest teleportation circle instead of back to town directly?
More
That's
than
what I'm trying
likely.
to figure out.
Remember there was that one in that castle right outside Port Hamor.
There is also a large teleportation circle located near Elcott.
That's true. So if we could get a third, we could create us a little grid we could go to. I mean, I only have an intelligence of 6, but I'm thinking that would work.
Wait, you're Doc. Nani?
Yeah, Doc's
He does it by feel, man.
He goes by feel. He's a charisma caster, bruh.
Pete, how many people can you transport via plants?
No, you got
It only lasts for one round, right? Upwards of 1,000.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Not with one sitting. See, kobolds have a movement speed of 25 feet. I could see an argument of how many kobolds could fit in a 45-foot area around the tree, but I don't know. That kind of leaves the last few unsafe. They might get cut in half, and that'd be bad.
What do you think happens if you put something? I'd have to go read the spell again. What does it say happens when something's in there when it closes?
I don't know, but if I was a DM, I'd say, like, yeah, they partially go in. Oh,
The
look,
tree
there's the
eats
other
them.
half. Yes.
Well, there's like lots of things like
The kobolds freak out and begin burning down the forest.
that makes me question stuff like, what if you toss a magic item in there and let it close on it? You know, what if you go in there and cast a tiny hut inside the space? You know.
I mean, you partially already know half of that answer. Your previous character lost half of himself through something like this.
Oof.
Yeah, but it's just there's so much fun that, like, out of character. I'm just thinking of all the fun. If we want to destroy a magic item, could we leave it and then run, and then hope it gets cut in half?
That is interesting.
How big will the explosion be?
Explosion of a magical item?
See, we teleport, long rest, transport via plants, teleport. We don't have to find out what happens. We're far the fuck away from it.
I mean, yeah, but we would want to find out what happens. We do need to know if
Scry.
it works.
Scry.
Yeah, we need to.
I
We need
broke a
to
staff of
make sure we
magic
have a
one
solution.
time and nerfed half a continent.
Nerfed half a continent.
Well, I mean, everything within the first 100 miles was instantly obliterated. Everything after that, was magically poisoned. This was a legendary item given to me by a god. I mean, of course it's going to destroy everything.
Would stonemasons have a use for acid under?
Yes.
It's pretty common to want to etch stuff in.
Yeah,
Acid etch.
you can clean and acid etch stuff into stone with it.
Into lots of stuff.
Yeah, and all sorts of things.
Like dick doodles.
You know, if we want to commemorate this event of the dragon getting oofed, I have enough acid to probably do that. I don't have the skill to actually etch it myself, but I'm putting it out there.
Let's all get, and this is a terrible idea. No. And she's probably inebriated because she's taken that whole rest and she's been drinking that booze the whole time. So we could all get tattoos, but not just regular tattoos. Tattoos using that dragon blood for ink. Red dragon blood tattoos depicting, I don't know, some kind of data goofed symbol, something evoking our slaying of the dragon.
This does remind me. Is it possible to fill up 4 jugs and 10 flasks with a single use of fabricate to fill it all with dragon's blood?
We have a barrel, just fill it.
Yeah, just make sure you I mean, you literally have a barrel of all of the dragon's blood. So, yes, you can decant that off into different containers if you want. There's really no check needed for that.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we're getting as much of the dragon's blood as possible from that corpse.
Yeah, you already did. He already used fabricate to pull all the blood into that barrel.
Okay.
That must look pretty fucking spooky.
Yeah, especially because the barrel is kind of smoking because it's a wooden barrel.
I want to begin understanding it a bit more with alchemist tools.
I have an idea.
And see if I could maybe make it a bit more practical and more safe.
Real quick, why don't we just make a leather lining for the barrel out of dragon leather? And then just,
I
fit
can
it inside the space.
I can just fabricate the dragon's stomach. That would work, right? Or is there a organ that their fire comes from?
The barrel's catching fire. We might want to just do it.
So, yeah, there's some type of organ that the fire comes from. They're kind of like venom sacs in the mouth. At least it was until you pulled the skull out through its mouth.
Is it intact enough to make a fireproof lining for the barrel?
Yes. Yeah, it's not intact enough to hold anything in its current state, but using Fabricate, you can just sort of line the barrel with the gooed up sacks and call it good.
I will do that.
Okay. There is now a fleshy coating on the inside of this wooden barrel, but it's no longer smoking.
We can figure something out less fleshy when we get back to town.
Yeah. This looks like something you would see in a Doom game at this point. It's a barrel of blood that has like a flesh lining.
Damn, that's metal.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever works, man.
Does Odwick have a court wizard?
I want to study the blood with alchemist tools.
Okay.
We have a limited quantity of it. Be careful with it.
Absolutely. Enhanceability for intelligence while I'm doing this.
And how much are you studying? Like, how much did you take? Because you guys have 13 and a half gallons. Whenever you use some, you need to mark off from the current amount.
How much do I need to study it?
Well, probably the absolute minimum is a vial, so 4 ounces. But studying it depends on whether you want to, if you care if you consume it or not, if you're trying not to consume it. It depends on how much you consume of it if you choose to consume some.
What I'm looking to do is mainly understand the mechanical effects and see if I could make it better, I suppose. I don't care if I consume something like a vial when we got something like 13 gallons. So I'll go with that in mind.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
So you got a vial and you're willing to consume it. Okay. By consume, I mean use up, not drink, by the way.
Yes, yes.
Okay, just thought I'd clarify for everybody else's sake. So sure, go ahead and make an alchemy roll.
Nala was fine after it.
Yeah, but she got a 20 on that con save. You don't know what happens if you didn't.
It only burned her clothes off in a moment. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay.
How bad do we want to know what it does?
I know what it does.
Okay, so I'll do this amount. I'll add +5 to that with Flash of Genius, so 31.
Okay. Yeah, you study it, you learn its effects, and I will tell them to you as soon as I have them.
Very good.
So, anything else?
Could I get a hand crossbow made with some of the extra pounds of metal I have? I have about 10, but a hand crossbow is like 3. I also have 10 pounds of wood, if that matters. I want to decorate it with some dragon scales. Could I do that?
Yeah, you can adorn it with dragon scales, no problem.
Yeah.
Assuming you have the means to make it.
Yeah. I got 10 pounds of wood and high quality metal. Not sure how much I use of what, but that's what I have.
And your provision was smith tools, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Hurrah.
There is no part of this dragon that could be broken down into anything resembling thread, is there?
The sinew, maybe?
The tendons.
That doesn't sound like it's going to look anything like a textile when you're done with it. It sounds like it's going to look like a horror show.
You need a hell of a lot of turpentine and dye to make it look
Well,
anything.
I mean, yeah, there. You can make threads out of sinew, tendons, and intestinal wall. They've done it before to make violin strings. So, yes,
Yeah.
in its raw form, it looks kind of horrific, but these were skills known in the
All right.
Stone Age. So, yes, it is possible.
Well, I mean, I'm proficient with weaver's tools. It sounds like it would take me a long time to do that, and we don't have someone who can fabricate to that level. I don't think nobody else has weaver's proficiency.
Nope, got leather workings.
I,
Speaking of which,
I
Sleuth, your leather armor burned off. Is that dress does that dress have an armor class benefit under?
No.
What were you saying? No, sorry.
I might be able to do something if you need like a bowstring, but I'm not even sure if I can do that.
Unless you can actually turn all of that material into enough thread to make another outfit, I wouldn't bother.
I mean,
I would need enough thread to make it, and then we would have to go all the way to town to get the dyes required.
I do plan on going to town soon.
Yeah.
So
So
is there enough of the materials to make a dress for Mina?
we're gonna be here for a few days anyway, right?
Yes.
So can I spend that next few days?
I was answering Sleuth.
Yeah. Oh. Okay then. Never mind.
That's up to the party whether you're going to stay there for a few days. I can't tell you to do that.
I think the
I
general
thought that's what
consensus
we
was a
were
week.
already doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
If you can just do it, I don't have to sit here harvesting dragon for the next several days. But I will.
I will make a dress for Mina as she wants it designed.
Basically identical to this one, except in desperate need of being dyed because it looks like a horror show.
I'd
I mean,
prefer
I'm
to
looking
get
at tendons
some
right now. It looks
armor
like it just
worked
needs
up for
light color.
Nala.
So I need to be able to get access to red and gold dyes.
With the money we have, it's a drop in the bucket. I'm sure we can manage.
Do I know if a tailor or someone who would have dyes survived the demon invasion in Porhammer?
Probably.
Do I know them enough to cast sending to them?
Sure.
I will cast sending and ask if they have enough red and gold dyes for a dress for a person of relatively average stature, I assume.
Mina
Well,
can
she's a bit
give you her
taller.
measurements because she's got all the weaver's tools. She can just give you her measurements to give to the guy.
Yep, you just get a response. Yes, we have the dice.
Sending
Oh, that
again.
accent.
How
I
much
know
would
that
it
accent.
cost?
Dice cost 20 gold per dram.
It's a bit more expensive than I was expecting, but okay.
It's expensive, but we'll have plenty.
Yeah, I mean, we have how much? About 2 tons of platinum. Did I hear that right?
No, you have. I don't think it's 2 tons. It's only 77,000 coins.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's 1,500 pounds.
1,500 pounds. Well, nearly a ton. We have money for it. It was 20 gold per what? Per dress?
per dram.
Drum. Oh, dram.
Drum. How much would it take to dye a dress?
A piece of clothing generally is going to take about a dram and to about 2 drams, depending on the size of it. For a dress of that nature, probably a dram of each type. So 1 each. So 40 gold.
Should be fine.
I'm sure you'll find 40 gold somewhere.
Oh, I don't know. We only have an ancient dragon's hoard. 40 gold is going to be
Mina
hard
has
to scrape
been
up.
We hope
swimming.
they'll mind be paying copper. Watch as we give them 4,000 copper.
Mina's been literally swimming in this dragon horde. She's probably got 40 gold accidentally in the ruffles of her shirt. Like,
Yeah, there's so much money in this place.
Are we doing the week of downtime stuff, guys?
Oh, I'm interested in getting with some of their inventors, if they have any, and getting any of their knowledge. And see if I could give them a couple pointers or anything.
I'm sure there is 0 chance of bringing them here, so I can take you to town. In the literal sense with teleportation.
The kobolds?
Oh, I thought you meant poor handlers.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
good luck
no.
with that. Nala will just be when she's not on her trip to Port Hamor, and if necessary, Belothlin and or allied nations. Then she's just going to be around getting to know the kobolds, checking in with the artisans, Arcanus, and Grand Vizier. Queenly duties and such.
Right.
if anyone
Gilbert?
else see new dragon stuff died, you let me know. I'm all I can dye your stuff for you. Can we get some silk? I'll line the insides of the stuff and we'll make everything fancy.
So what shopping list do we have?
I would definitely like some raw alchemical materials to play around with.
Ooh, that reminds me.
Spell scrolls for rituals, the first level. Some would be great, actually.
Before I go to port, I would like to ask one of the smiths, or if the vizier would know, anybody who would know, if the kobolds have some spare iron to put on the cart so I can use the bone for something else.
Yes. Yes, they do.
I would also like to cast Sending to Odwick and ask whether he prefers half plate or full plate.
He replies full.
Then I will take 70 pounds of iron, swap it out for dragon bone on the cart, and turn that bone into a suit of full plate.
Okay.
And then I will present that along with the 6.
We have acid?
Someone does.
Yeah.
The dragon bone plate, a cape for Rodwick, and the 6 extra capes cloaks, not capes, for Odwick's soldiers in his guard or whatever, when I get back. There's also
Does
a
anyone
matter
want the
of
acid?
any shopping that needs to be done for the rest of the party.
I've already told you the things I need, I think.
I would need more than a minute to compile some things I'd like.
So I'll tell you guys what. Why don't we call the session here? You can figure out what you want to do during these 7 days of downtime, including your shopping lists. And that gives me a chance to get all the stats worked out on your new kingdom.
Woo!
Neat.
This is acceptable. I was always joking about Nala being Queen of the Abyss, but kobolds aren't a bad start.
No.
Hey.
Under?
Yeah.
What are Bahamut's thoughts on prop